Boris Johnson tonight claimed Brexit helped save lives during the COVID pandemic. In an interview with Tory MP Nadine Dorries on Talk TV, the former PM said the UK's departure from the EU allowed Britain to approve a vaccine more quickly than the 27-nation bloc. Mr. Johnson, who almost died of coronavirus in the early months of the crisis, said he was proud of the speedy vaccine rollout, which saw the first jab in December 2020. Meanwhile, Brussels came under intense criticism for its sluggish speed. The ex-premier made the comments as he defended himself over the Partygate saga, one of a series of scandals that led to him being forced out of Number 10 in September. Mr. Johnson still faces an inquiry by the Privileges Committee over whether he misled MPs about lockdown-busting parties in and around Downing Street. He told Talk TV's Friday Night with Nadine, "As you know, there's the parliamentary committee looking into some aspects of this and I had better be respectful of them. But I'll just repeat what I've said before, and I hope it's obvious to everybody, that anybody who thinks I was knowingly going to parties that were breaking lockdown rules in Number 10, and then knowingly covering up parties that were illicit that other people were going to, that's all strictly for the birds. And if anybody thinks like that, they're out of their mind. I've got to wait for this thing to conclude. What I would say is that we all thought what we were doing, or certainly, I thought what we were doing, was within the rules." Highlighting the success of the vaccine rollout, Mr. Johnson continued, "And what we certainly thought was that we were working blindingly hard on some massive priorities for the country. So what we were doing was getting that vaccine rollout organized. We were thinking desperately about how to. Went through lots of phases. How to ramp up testing, and all the rest of it. Thank goodness that era is behind us, but one thing people forget, now let's pray it's behind us, but one thing people forget, thinking about the vaccine rollout, is there we've got I think the third anniversary of Brexit, coming up, or the third anniversary of the day when we actually came out of the EU. You don't hear it much these days, but it is absolutely the case, that had it not been for our ability to do our own regulation, had it not been for the fact that we'd come out of the European Medicines Agency, the MHRA, the Medical Health Regulation Agency, was now totally free to decide how fast to approve the vaccine, we wouldn't have been able to do that vaccine rollout so fast. And you know, it is literally true that Brexit helped save lives. And people's eyes bulge a bit when you say that, but it happens to be true. I'm proud of that. I'm proud of all the work that those people did." Mr. Johnson's interview comes amid intense speculation of a future comeback by the charismatic 58-year-old. But the inquiry by the Privileges Committee is set to come back onto the political agenda, with hearings expected in the coming weeks. Mr. Johnson has been accused of misleading MPs over what he knew about Partygate. After the scandal erupted in late 2021, he told the Commons several times that rules had been followed. An investigation by senior civil servant Sue Gray later found rule-breaking gatherings had taken place. But Mr. Johnson has denied deliberately misleading Parliament, insisting he believed his statements to be true at the time.